They wasted no time in saying it. On the heels of calling up Jacob Fowler and Adam Engstrom, Owen, Beck, and more, there are some quotes from Marty St. Louis, Brendan Gallagher, and just the reaction within the entire Habs organization and fans. It sends a message as to what the plan is exactly for Jacob Fowler, and it's more interesting than we thought at first. But also on the Adam Engstrom note, the pairings and lines were revealed, and there are some big changes, not just with him, but even within the Habs top six. There is a ton of crazy stuff going on with this team as we head into another 3-game stretch with a back-to-back on the weekend, and we got to break down all of it. But the first thing I want to get into, Jesse, is not to do with those guys. It has to do with a certain Sidney Crosby. Now, the NHL's player poll came out on The Athletic. It's linked down below. Super fun. So many fun names. Nick Cousins named the number one guy people want to punch in the face. No surprise there. However, the thing we're interested in talking about today is Sidney Crosby. And of the player poll, Jesse, where will Sidney Crosby play next year? Of 118 responses, 12.7% of players said they think Crosby is going to play in Montreal. That's second to only Pittsburgh. And again, as the days go by, it certainly seems like the odds of him staying with Pittsburgh for his whole career are higher. But I do find it interesting that it's not just us, it's not just maybe some wishful thinkers that think Crosby could go elsewhere. The players around the league think that he might do it as well.
Save us, Sid. I mean, Sidney Crosby would be more of like a nice to have, than like a must have at this point, because we know the Habs is a young team. We're built for the future, but we know the considerable effect that the addition of Sidney Crosby would have on this team. I mean, I'm here for that Saturday night at the Bell Center. Sidney Crosby, it just feels good, Josh. That being said, we know the success, as you allude to, that he's having with the Penguins this year, albeit a little bit of a surprise in some ways, although with Crosby and the production he's doing, again, he just continues to amaze here. More than likely that he is going to be finishing out his career. In fact, I would say like it has to be almost 100%, like the way that the Penguins are playing right now, that he's going to finish his career. That being said, I am consoled by the fact that NHL players, have us above the Avs and even a Nathan McKinnon in terms of that Montreal would be the second most likely, scenario and destination for Crosby here. So again, very consoled by that fact here going forward. But again, we know that we got this young team. We're going to be able to figure it out with Crosby, even though he would be an amazing addition.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking down the middle, and maybe a bit of a spoiler for some of these line changes if you caught them really quickly. But yeah, super young team, youngest in the league, and right now we're just getting younger with a lot of these guys coming up from Laval. But yeah, he is very much a nice to have, albeit unlikely. Still interesting that this flame just doesn't seem to die. It's not going to die until he says it one way or another. So anyway, we're going to move on from that, because right now focusing on the current team is a big thing. And I want you guys to let us know down below. Do you like the call-ups that we made? Are you good with Jacob Fowler, Adam Engstrom, and Owen Beck? Because there's a world where they could play way sooner than we were anticipating as we take a look at the pairings and the forwards at practice. And you see right here, it is Struble, Hudson, Xhekaj, Carrier, but you can see Engstrom there in the press box. But when we take a look at the lines from practice that the Habs posted, and we saw this, Engstrom was kind of filtering in with that Struble and Hudson pairing, not the Xhekaj Carrier pairing. And Jesse, that seems a little interesting to me, because I mentioned yesterday when we heard about the call-ups, Struble was actually the first guy that came to mind to maybe get replaced after, seeing getting walked on this goal by point. Not entirely his fault, but it wasn't great. I mean, right now, is there a world where Adam Engstrom could legit get in the Habs' next game over a guy like Struble? And do you think they'd maybe pair him with Hudson? Because it seems to be some of the hints that they're sprinkling out there right now.
It seems like Marty and Kent Hughes want to be making changes very quickly. We're getting that for a second, but it seems to equate to some changes that'll be made as of next game. Yeah. And clearly, Marty, like with the timing of everything that's going on, seems like these calls are being made like during the game. Obviously, Struble, allowing, that player to get the inside on him. Marty's not too happy. And, kind of whether he's saying so or not, it is definitely a message sent just to the entire organization. Josh, I'm excited, though, to see Adam Engstrom and what he's going to be able to do. It is looking like he will pair with Hudson. And the first thing you might think of, but does Engstrom have the size? And at 6'2", 198 pounds, I think that the size is good enough where he's still able to pair with Hudson. And again, it creates a very mobile pairing where he's been able to get 16 points in 20 games. But probably the skating is going to be a little bit the advantage here. We saw Struble was allowed to be, taking advantage a little bit of probably the skating having something to do with that. Maybe unlikely that that would happen with an Adam Engstrom in the lineup. So very interesting to note how this goes forward, what this means for Arber, Xhekaj, and Jayden. Like, they're going to need to be on their games here going forward to really keep their spots in the lineup. But I don't want to like compare Hudson and Engstrom to kind of like Dobson and Matheson in a lot of ways. I don't think that that's exactly the same. I think Hudson, despite his size, actually has pretty good defensive metrics there. But again, creating a guy that can really skate on the ice and really play that two-way game, Josh, has got me really excited to see what that would look like.
And I'm curious too, like whenever Guhle is ready to come back, if we could ever have a world where like maybe Guhle draws in for Xhekaj and Engstrom draws in for Struble, I don't know if there's a better skating decor in the league, maybe already than Montreal, but can you imagine Guhle, Engstrom, and Matheson down the left, Dobson, Hudson, Carrier down the right, smooth skating top to bottom. And I mean, that is, you're right, one big thing that Engstrom brings, and I do think his size is underrated a bit. Like, even I forget he's 6'2" sometimes. Now, he maybe plays a little smaller, he doesn't really lay the body as much, but he's so skilled and he has good instincts, so I'm excited to see. And, you know, Owen Beck was called up as well. I did want to mention that he is drawn in for Jake Evans, who will miss next game for personal reasons, but he's also been playing through, I think, a foot injury or a lower body injury, so wishing him the best with whatever's going on. Beck makes a lot of sense as a replacement for Evans, but also this is a bit of an audition over Joe Veleno, but that's not the main topic here. I want to get to Jacob Fowler because, what was that? I accidentally flashed Mitch Marner up there for a second. I didn't even know I had that screenshot. Look, Jacob Fowler, I don't know what that was. Right now, again, an incredible performance in the AHL this year. 919 save percentage, 2.09. I wasn't shy in saying that I was a little worried putting him out there with this Habs defense, but as we were talking, like, he's a guy that absolutely deserves to be up there in the spotlight, and a guy that thrives in that spotlight. And Marty was asked about Jacob Fowler as well. So I wouldn't say it's a message sent by the GM. These are decisions we make as an organization. We knew at some point we wanted to see Fowler, to see where he is in his development, and went on to say about it maybe being a desperation move because of the goalie struggles. He said, I don't think we'll ever do anything in desperation. Somebody who's desperate is because he's not calculated and he doesn't have a plan. The wordsmith that Martin St. Louis is certainly comes through here, Jesse, but I love the fact that they, like, this kind of tells me is like they knew they wanted to test him. Now, I think maybe they didn't want it to have to come to this again with the brutal goalie performances, but I love the confidence that Marty's put into him. Gally saying, look, the expectations were high for Carey Price, and look where that got us. I really love how much the organization seems to be behind Jacob Fowler right now.
And this is a scenario that you come into with any star player in any type of level of professional sports. When you have a player that has the gravity of a Jacob Fowler, it's just a matter of time before they start making waves, and any sort of kind of stumble from those ahead of them is going to really start getting this narrative going very quickly. We knew this going into the season. We called it. We said, like, how long is it going to be? Like, we know Jacob Fowler is going to play well. While we like Dobeš and we like Monty, nobody has like star goalie written over them. That being said, at what point would he start to enter the narrative of him coming up to Montreal? Just at a certain point, this type of player would just exert that type of pressure. Josh, I'm excited to really see it at this point here. And Marty had another kind of great quote here today of saying, like, you can either make progress or you can make excuses. And for me here, like, this is an aggressive move by Kent Hughes and by Martin St. Louis, where they just they were in second in the Atlantic. Now after last game, they fell just outside the playoff race. They're saying, we're not waiting until we find a couple of games behind. That's how the Buffalo Sabres got where they're at. We're not waiting. We're making moves right away to really remedy this. So it's an aggressive move, Josh, that I really like. Again, like his play in Laval, it's really warranted it again. Only 26 games played so far, 21 years of age, but a 2.09 GAA. The big thing is the 9.9 save percentage. Yeah. Again, we know that Monty and Dobeš just aren't doing it right now. They got that. They're allowing 3.55 goals against right now. We know, obviously, Fowler's numbers are coming from the HL, a little bit different, but, like, you have to feel, even with right now, Fowler could provide some better goaltending than what we're seeing right now. And, like, Josh, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but, like, his poise that we see from Fowler, his calm demeanor, like, it's reminiscent of Price. We're already hearing it, like, from other, like, players. We've seen it, just how he plays in the net right now. So going to be very interesting to see how this carries over. It's looking, Eric Engels is actually saying that he's going to be getting the start tomorrow night against the Penguins, Josh. So this has got to hyped up to see how he's going to do in his first performance.
It's crazy how quick things changed, right? Like, it went from beating Toronto and deserving to beat Toronto, to losing to St. Louis but probably deserving to win, to playing pretty bad against Tampa, getting blown out, to now, oh, Jacob Fowler time. Like, just an insane swap around. But you know what? You're so right about this being maybe a turning point for the goalies, because our guys haven't been great. And if you look at some of the advanced stats, on unblocked shots, Montreal has the lowest save percentage of any team in the league, and on just general shots on goal, which has, unblocked shots is like clear shots on net, shots on goal is just any shot on goal, we're still second last, behind only Edmonton. Now, and they are not the pinnacle of goaltending, let's just say that. So right now, Montreal needs a spark in goal. As bad as the defense has been, the goaltending has also been bad. Both have been a problem. We're trying to remedy it right now, and let's see if Jacob Fowler can do it. Leave your thoughts. Leave a like if you want Fowler to perform well when he's first going out there. It's incredibly exciting right now to be the Montreal Canadiens, to be a Montreal Canadiens fan. And look, if you want all the latest updates, make sure you hit that free subscribe button down below. Follow us on Twitter and even Facebook if you know anyone on Facebook. Habs Digest Facebook page taken off. Thank you so much for tuning in every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.